Hello, Ultra Buddies. We are a little late on this one, but we're back with Decker, the Type 4. We'll
Busy
get right
week.
into it. It's been an eventful week. Ultraman Decker Dynamic Type, finally, the last quadruple rare. An on-play effect enters play on a quad stack, as expected. You may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck to put one level 3 or lower Decker from among them into play on top of one of your characters that can level up with it, and then send the rest to discard. So, kind of like a little mini permanent Blazar. Um, and only targets Deckers, which, you know, I don't know. I feel like I've
I
had a
mean,
lot of time to sit with this card, and I still don't like it.
I think yeah, it's not my favorite effect of them all. Because when you can level up a 3 or lower, which really means just a 2 or a 3.
Right.
So if you have a level 1 lane sitting around, which is not very common by that point in the game, you could get to a 1/2 and have some kind of scene search effect, a swap, maybe some interesting things there. But and then the level 3s would be interesting because then a 2/3 I feel like doesn't feel that compelling for Decker.
No.
But a 1/2/3 could be like getting an additional triple out there could be nice, especially with all the other like the triple R's and things we saw last week. So
Yeah.
it's
I think where
it's
this
still
card
tough.
excites me the most is playing it in tandem with a support ultra that can rearrange the top cards of the deck or put cards from your hand on top of the deck, something like a Dynascene or Nexus that lets you say like, okay, you know what, I'm going to guarantee this effect. Because if you do like a 1/2 Decker in the new lane and then have this one come in later, so you're leveling up to a triple, like you're guaranteed level up to the triple in the new lane. That feels
Yeah.
pretty good. I like that. But other than that, like if I have to just do this randomly, I'm not sure I love it right now.
It needs a lot of setup to make it like feel consistent and strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's definitely not ranking high for me, but
You
it'll
could
come
also
down
just run like a
to.
bajillion level 3 Deckers.
I mean, that's kind of what you used to do with Deckers, right? Where you
Yeah.
had the triple
Yeah.
R and they get bumped up. So you have maybe a 1/2 lane somewhere that you hit and you hope you hit. Um, but it will have to see because there's like the whole Decker Dyna dynamic that people are looking into. There's could be a mono Decker. Um, maybe you could definitely compete with other decks now because it is a level 4, but in
Yeah.
terms of how versatile this card is, not not sure I fully see it. I think you had the same concerns, but I think we'll need to see it in action.
Yeah, we definitely need to see all these level 4s in action. I think there's a lot of gameplay changes too with just like the existence of level 4s. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like the level 4 is not valuable just for making a quad stack. It's also valuable for turning your 2/3s into a triple stack, which is something that like you just couldn't do before. So it really changes like how you have to play around certain board setups.
Yeah, but Decker's the worst one. I feel like
Yeah,
for that
yeah, because Decker doesn't
because
want to play 2/3s.
like any other deck Tigas or D whatever you could have a 2/3 gets like a quick burst of power some effect and then you level up 17k kind of fix that triple lane. But a Decker level 3, if you have your triple R out, already gets a BP grade up, which
Yeah,
is usually higher than 12k anyways. So playing this kind of you go down a bit.
yeah.
Uh,
All
that,
right.
that this is an awkward one, but
Yeah, it'll be
fingers
interesting to
crossed.
see this one. I'm a little iffy about it, but yeah, we got to try it. We got to see how it works.
Yeah, we'll
Let's move
definitely
on.
feature something.
Getting a victory, a new victory. Why don't you go ahead and read this one?
Yeah, so new victory, Shepard on Saber, arm type, like always. So this one is the first, I think, triple effect. So as a triple, you can give all your victories with arm type, except this character plus 1,000 each. So you make your victory stronger. It kind of reminds me of the Arc starter deck, but with more conditions.
Yeah.
kind of.
It's like more conditions, but also less conditions because you don't have to like hit a mill, so you don't have to really like completely build your deck around it of like having like a billion arm types. Luckily, I mean, a lot of the
But
stuff is arm type already.
yeah. Yeah.
It will be interesting with this one, I think, because it does turn like we had the 17K one, and this which is a double rare, and then the one versus only basics. So those are like an 18 and a 17 now, which is actually pretty strong. Especially when you can bump plus 1,000 with it. But the Magna League needs Ginga still, right? So you can't like totally give up Ginga.
Yes,
Yeah.
Magna Wave does need a Ginga. That's something not to forget.
Yeah.
You can't use it in a victory or whatever deck. So, I mean, Ginga's still really good with the triple R anyway. So I feel like you
Yeah.
still just run at least an 8K or 8 card Ginga set.
Yeah. I think this depends a lot about how like the deck comes together, because right now I feel like I've at least built a deck to focus on being more Ginga focused so that I have the fodder for Battle for Dreams. But if you start moving towards victory focus, because I think there's a new scene that prevents BP rate downs, right? So maybe you're like, okay, well, I really want to take advantage of that, so we'll go victory focus, and you can do this, and then you're actually going to maybe build victory triples. I think actually one of the compelling things about a victory focus build was that when I was building I never really want to build a Ginga triple unless it's Stream. And if it's Stream, then it's kind of counteracting itself by being a triple, which makes it hard to use. So I think if I had these victories, I'd be happier to build this as a triple than pretty much anything else in the deck right now.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a good triple. It's still weird because the other double R does need 3 doubles to get that additional 1K. So it's an interesting balance we'll have to see between like what triples and what doubles you want. But it's still nice
if you don't have 3 doubles but you have this one, it's like effectively the same.
Yes, yeah. So you could still hit the 17K. If you have the extra doubles, you can hit the 18K, which is a nice number to hit. That being said, I think this is one of the cards I'll want to see the new meta, because in VP4's meta, hitting 18K can put you up to par with arc decks and things. But with level 4s, I don't know what numbers people are trying to hit. You're going to hit 17s or 20Ks now, so it could be really good or really bad.
Yeah, and then it also could be really bad if like, Zero is really popular and happens to be very good against armed types, as we know.
Yes, yeah. We will see.
All right, let's move on to Geed. So there's 2 Geeds. They're basically the same. Solid Burning level 2. Give one of your speed or basic type plus 1,000 BP for a turn. It's a singular double. And then this one gives a power armed, but it's a speed type. So these kind of like work together. It's almost like the 2 zeros, but giving plus 1,000 instead of drawing a card, which is way worse, I think. But these could be a little like fun little things to play. Those plus 1,000s do make a difference.
It reminds me of like what you're doing with Metron with the Belial deck. Depending on where the decks end up, and if it's like we build 18Ks and then 18Ks are really common, that 1,000 is exactly what you some source of like tiebreaker, and this could be it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those cards that I feel like I'll need to see the meta, and then we'll add these in later to find stuff, as opposed to building your deck around that 1K.
I do think there's like justification for. I think Mega Master is basic, so like this power one. I think people have talked about like a power basic focused build. So this one's a power type that bumps basics, and so you could bump your Mega Master to a 21. Like those like small things are pretty important. That's it for Big Geese, I think. We have Ultraman X2. It's just a return to, much welcomed in X deck. Not much else to say.
It's also, I want to call this one out because it did come up with some testing I was doing. It is an ARM type draw 2, so most of these like level 2 effect cards are usually basic,
right?
Which in a Ginga Victory meta, where like, oh, you want to face against a bunch of basics and get BP grade ups, that could be a liability. But now this one's armed, which could be good, could be bad, depending on what the meta looks like. But interesting that you have other effects with some of these cards that you can maybe work into your decks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the next one, Tiga, the Shining One scene. Pretty crazy scene. You're the Tiga guy, so
yeah. So this is our second Tiga scene. We had Legend of Stone before from set 1. So this one around 3 scenes. So usually good, get you closing the game, but not quite around 4-1. So this one's an activate once per turn, no cost. And so this one you can give 2 of your level 3 or higher Tigas plus 2,000 each for that turn, and then give 1 Kaiju type devastation that is the opponent of one of your Tigas a minus 2,000 for this turn. So and then send this card to the owner's discard area. So at least 4,000 or 2,000 across 2 Tigas. If there is a devastation card, not too many, but Katana Thor, if he's out there, then that's another 2,000. But I don't count on that one when I was playtesting this. But but just it's like a guaranteed Nexus hit, but it's a one-time use, which is I think for the Tiga decks I've been playing or been looking into, that can actually end the game. They have a lot of bursty powers now with that new triple R.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's funny that it gives you a little bit of like a anti-Zeton effect here, where if you're playing a mono Tiga deck, no other ultras, and they line up the Zeton, and you got, I don't know, against your 20k, and it's 20k versus 20k, minus 2,000. Like,
it's actually interesting because so if you have the 2/3 triple R, the new one, right, it can BP grade itself up pretty much to 17k. With this card activated, you give that Tiga plus 2,000, making it 19, and you bring Zeton down 2,000. That's 18. You actually can beat a anti-BP grade Zeton, a mono Zeton.
Yeah, that's true. You can beat Zeton any which way you want.
Yeah.
Not looking good for Bellio.
Because that's a 4,000 gap that you can now close with 17k.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. Also, I gotta say, Tiga has the best named scenes. At least what I've seen. Legend of the Stone to the Shining Ones. I love the names. So that's also, big bonus points for Tiga. But I think this card's going to be really good. Round 3 scenes, I think, are like the way these days.
And Tiga's really good at getting round 3 lead.
Tiga's very good at getting round 3. One thing that's kind of funny is that Kyriloid dodges this in classic Tiga hater fashion. It's I think, hazard type. So, no, it's invasion.
Yeah. But with 2,000, a 17k beats your 18k. So
yeah. So
it's still it's a really good.
No longer the best anti-Tiga card, but like,
I mean, it's still good.
You can still do something. 18K. All right, Tiga done. Bing bong boom. We have Gaia Agul. 2 cards exactly the same. Just one's Gaia, one's a Ghoul with linking art, which is pretty nice. A Ghoul minuses 2,000 a battle opponent, and Gaia gives plus 2,000. So these are very good cards for. I mean, at least for me, I felt like one of the issues with Gaia Ghoul is that you have too much reliance on the triple rare Gaia, which that's like kind of like keeps you alive in a lot of spots. So like it sets the opponent back so that you can not like be hurting too much when you set yourself back with a bounce as well. I think that these plus powers are going to really help give you a little bit more options that like, okay, well now I have, it's not quite as good as the Gaia triple rare, but we have a little bit more options to go with.
Yeah, I think I like it. I could see you using that in. I don't know if it's hard to say if you use both in a single deck, but if you're doing a Gaia heavy one, this one can make its room. Just like you said, you have another really strong triple that will keep you in the game. There's even some shenanigans where you play the bounce, the triple R, bounce their card, and then you put that card back in your hand, and then the next turn, they think they maybe don't level it up, or they think you're going to bounce it again or something, but then you play this one, you get another 2,000. A lot of kind of shenanigans you could do with the triple on play, because Gaia will get to triples anyways. But if you're building into Gaia triples, you'll probably end up with fewer ghoul triples and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where finding that balance is still going to be tricky.
Yeah, finding the balance for this deck is going to be very interesting going forward. And I do think that with this Agul, we have enough Aguls to seriously consider an Agul heavy version of this deck that like is not like totally sacrificing.
Mhm.
So we'll see how Gaia Agul evolves in the next set. But another deck that's being upgraded is Jugless Juggler. Do you want to read the Juggler cards?
Oh yeah, so Jugular Unforgettable Place. So this one is a round one scene on play. You may give the battle opponent of one of your Jugular minus 2,000 PP for that turn. So I think round one scenes we usually see a plus 2,000 on play.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
Team
similar.
Victory had something.
I don't think we've seen these cards be very used before, though. I think the main issue, right, is that they come down before your most current lane, which makes it very hard to like use this as a burst to win because you're still reliant on like whatever happens in that first lane. Or the newest lane is what I mean. Yeah.
There are times where you could try and make this one work, but most often not, you really want your lead lane to be the one that you buff to get your important round 3 scenes out.
I do think this could be like really good for Juggler though, because Juggler has all these like kind of on play BP grade decreases and things like that, which means that you could play this scene to turn your lane 1 Juggler into effectively a 19k, which is going to beat out a lot of other level 3s, and then use the BP grade down now on the first lane to help you get kind of a 3-lane smackdown.
Yeah.
So there's some opportunity here, but we'll see. We'll kind of have to see how the Juggler deck evolves because there are a lot of other cards. Skip that one.
You skipped one, right?
Yeah, so I'm skipping around. So we have I don't know, like just an anti-power hazard, not much to talk about. A nice little Juggler. And then we have one that was kind of revealed in a trailer, a level 6 Juggless Juggler. This one lets you reveal the top 3 for a level 7 Sepandon. Put it in your hand and then discard a card. And it's like we were complaining about the victory card when it came out. This is way worse than the victory card.
Wait, this is a level 7. Somehow I thought, okay, so it's only like that one card unless there's a vanilla.
Yeah.
It's
so like unlike Ginga Victory, it only searches Zabandon, and it doesn't even activate as a single.
Well, so hear me out.
Okay.
If you're taking it at face value, yes, it only searches for that one card. I mean, it's nice to have a card, or we'll talk about that one in a bit because I have some mixed feelings there. But it's 3 discards. You know what deck has kaijus and wants discards? 5 King. This is a 5 King enabler.
5 King. Let's go.
So that's 3 discards that you get 2 named kaijus, a scene search, and this might get you to 5, and then you just start playing 17K.
You're onto something. Okay, well, let's move on to Zapandon then. The Combined Lord monster. Speaking of combined monsters, right? Like 5 King. Okay, go ahead and read this to us because.
So this one, level 7 hazard doubler. So as a triple, as an activate once per turn, you can choose one card from your hand, your opponent's hand, Jugular's fashion, and reveal it. If it's an ultra hero, you can give this card plus 1,000, making it an 18k. Otherwise, both players draw a card. And then, their opponent. Actually, one second. What resolves first? You putting the card back into its previous state, or your opponent drawing their card? Does that make sense? Because your opponent revealed the top. Oh no, sorry. This is the hand reveal, not
from hand.
Never mind. I'm mixing them up.
Okay,
so they both draw. It's like a win-win, kind of.
Yeah.
So I mean, just on the numbers, 17, 13, 17. Like, so your opponent, you have more Jugular 13k double options. That's always nice to have. A 17k is also a pretty solid triple number. It's effective. It's conditionally 18k,
Right.
which is a good number to have with regular. The draw is the weird one to me, though. I don't know if that's actually ever a good thing.
I think it's okay because you both draw.
Yeah.
I think it's awkward because if you still have cards in your hand and your opponent has no cards in your hand, then you don't really want them to draw.
Yeah.
The places where I like this card is when your opponent has no cards in hand, but you still have Juggler Scene. Because there's like quite a few games where you like end up in the late game with the Juggler Scene out and they have no cards in hand and you can't get your plus 1000s to win the game. And Zepeton will force them to draw a card, which hopefully is like Ultra Hero or whatever.
There's actually a judging question I have on this one later.
Sure.
It's like choosing one card at random. If your opponent has 0 cards, you can still activate the cost.
Oh, right. You can't activate the cost. So
which means like you can't get them to draw still.
Yeah, Juggler still gets ruined. So just dump your hand versus Juggler. They can't do anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like this card, to be honest. So
if you're to try and build a Jugular deck, it's better than nothing, I think.
Yeah.
Having
it's
an 18k
another Juggler
triple
level 3, level 7.
I mean, it's better than the vanilla ones, I think. Like if you're building to a triple, but
funnily enough, there is a Juggler level 7 as a triple on play. Both players draw a card, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a 16k triple though. So that's kind of like this is an 18k triple.
Yeah, 18k is much better for sure.
So it.
Let me see.
Maybe
it is
5 king. Maybe if this is the 5 king deck,
this
kind of fits together. But
yeah, I was gonna say that because it would be nice if it's a 5 king deck and then hopefully you just like, I don't care about the 18k, just let me draw a card so I can try to get my 5 king. Yeah, it could work. It's kind of funny, like this in a like kaiju mirror match is gonna go crazy with drawing cards.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see how that goes. All right, well, let's move on to.
I think you skipped one.
That was the Juggler.
Okay, yeah.
Those who protect. Omega has a round 4 scene. It's pretty crazy. If you have Omega, for each double kaiju with type media you have, give all your opponent's characters minus 1000 BP for each for this turn, and then you discard the scene. So by the time you're at round 4, which is turn 5, you gotta have at least 3, I would say. At least 3 kaiju doubles.
Well, if any of them end up as a single because things are awkward, 2 to 3. Because you might end up with like you had to play a level 6 Trigron by itself because that's all you had.
Yeah,
you never know. But ideally, you want 3. But you have.
But I just think with like all the searching and the new Omegas, you should for sure be able to like set up a bunch of doubles. Because the quad just picks up a double pair from your discard, and the new triple rare lets you take a 5 and level it up from this card.
Yeah.
So
but anyway, so assuming you have 3, that's what, minus 3000 to all of your opponent's characters.
Even
really strong. Even 2000 is really
big.
It's like the 0 scene.
The question is it better than Alien Scholar and I? And that I think will honestly, like I think we've been talking about like meta dependent cards the whole video. This will depend a lot on the meta. Like whether you can get to turn 4 safely is probably the biggest thing. I think I don't typically like round 4 scenes because of that kind of aspect of like, okay, well, I need to be able to live like the turn 4, not only live it, but take the lead, and then it's finally useful. I do think this is really good for the mirror match too. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's great for the mirror. I think if I were to play Omega, I would think turn 3 is the one that you really want that bursty Reckiness 16k, if not higher, because then you could take your lead for Alien Scholar and I, or you can take lead to prevent your opponent from playing their really strong round
Yeah.
3 scene. So round 3 or turn 3 still feels like that turn you really want to fight for. So if you have to fight for that turn and also fight for turn 4, that way you can get this.
Yeah.
You might not even survive that because that Reckiness turns into a 13k.
Yeah.
Turn 3, it's a liability if you don't have your quad out.
Yeah.
So it might be too strong and comes too late. That's my worry for this card.
Right. I think if I were playing Omega, I'd probably play at least one of them.
Yeah.
Similar to like, it basically just like a mirror buster. Like if you get this card, you're gonna like in the mirror match, and you have the lead lane for it, you're gonna. This is an I win button, right? But there are a lot of situations where you're just not gonna get to it, or it doesn't like. It's only gonna meaningfully flip one lane, in which case you might as well just have Alien Scholar and Eye.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking
of Alien Scholar and Eye, that is our last card for today. A beautiful EXP. Let's zoom in a bit more on that. I'm very excited about this one. I think this is my favorite one so far. So, very pretty.
So what was the other EXP? I think there was another reprint. Was this only reprint scene we've seen? Was there another one?
Scene we've seen?
Did Legend of the Stone get one?
No, you're right. Legend of the Stone got one, right?
Did it?
No. I think we're getting confused with something else.
No. I'm mixing something else up. Yeah. So okay. So
I think this is the only one. This might be the only
one reveal. So we'll hopefully get another EXP. The last
that would be cool.
Last set had 2. So
yeah. And there's one more reveal, but it's just a Dyna AP, and I don't really care to go over it. It's not as exciting as this for me.
No, it'll definitely be. Hopefully, we can get a blinged out Omega deck. You have all the APs. You got all the new stuff coming in. I think Omega has a winner card coming up.
Yeah, the Trigron winner.
Yeah.
Oh boy! All right, that's the Decker episode. I think we've seen everything they're going to show us in spoilers, so this is probably the last reveal video for BPO5. I think in the next week or two, we'll get the card list put up on the website, and maybe we'll make a video going through like any standouts from those. But I think we're just going to be in building our initial passes at Dex mode, so we can have some stuff out for you all right away.
Yeah, I think we can look at like what are the decks we're excited about, and if there's anything revealed in the card list that wasn't already covered in reveal. Like if there's some new Nexus cards, if there's some new
if there's something crazy,
you'll know. It'll make its way into a video.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another one.
Thank you.
Bye.